Invading the internet, covering Web 2.0, coast to coast, worldwide, and everywhere in between. This is where you put the social in social media. We are Social Blade.
Welcome to episode 41 of the Social Blade Show. I am JD Rucker, one of the hosts of the show.
I'm Erin Ryan.
And I'm Victor Barrera.
And I'm Jason Ergo.
And I'm Jeff Kreider.
And today we are joined by an exceptionally special guest, a man that I'm not even going to introduce him. He is that world famous in the world of Twitter. Let's just put it this way. He was banned on Dig almost 2 years ago, and he's still like number 4 or 5 or something like that.
Yeah, 3.
He was number 3 at one point, yes. And now he is still up at the top, and he hasn't had a front page story since 2008 or something like that. Welcome, Reg the Zaibatsu Saddler. How are you doing, buddy?
Great. Great to be here, guys. And I'm loving after 600 days. Last I checked, though, I was number 3, but I think someone was about to bump me out.
Yeah, you're up there. The point is that if you were to take my total front pages plus Ergo's total front pages plus Victor's plus Jeff's plus Aaron's, then we would actually come pretty close to yours, but not quite all the way. So you are the former Dig Ninja who is now the Twitter Ninja, who is phenomenal. But we'll talk about you here in a bit. Let's jump into some social media stories from the week. And ironically enough, we start off with something that Zaibatsu knows a lot about. But Aaron's going to lead us off.
Yes, with like the triple threat is what I'm going to call it: Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And as in continuation with last week's show, we talked a lot about social media and businesses. This is basically going to go right into it, because businesses today that are having Generation Y becoming employees within the market need to stay on board with what is a necessity for its online presence. The younger the employee, the more fluent they will be in using social media. So as a business, you need to do just the same, which means that blocking online networks such as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube is no longer an option. From an article on Freep.com, the chief social networking specialist for Ford, Scott Monty, says, quote, "Trying to block the sites in akin to companies in the 1930s waging war against the telephone," end quote. If fearing that employees will then be seen as spokespeople of the company, the best way to extinguish the thought is to create a company-wide strategy. Implementing a procedure to intensify your business's online morale and continuous branding is to make sure your employees are all on board and are encouraged to take part on your social sites. Kristen Sisko, the Southfield-based branch manager for information technology staffing company Robert Half Technology, about allowing social networks in the workforce, says, quote, "One of the things they've talked about is how email was looked at 10 years ago as risky, and now it is accepted so much as a business tool. Asking, are we going through the same thing with social networking?" End quote. I'd love to do a poll if we can, Ergo, and ask the audience, do we think that businesses should allow social media in the workplace? And if we can have that up, we'll give you some time. And I just want to share the survey that was commissioned this spring by Robert Half Technology. And what they found was that 54% of American companies banned employees from logging onto Twitter and Facebook. About 19% of companies allowed social networking for business purposes. Of the 1,400 executives surveyed, only 10% gave employees open access to social networks at work. Within a society that has become the life source for social sites such as Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, so much so that Facebook is the 3rd largest country in the world, and it happens to be online, the best practice is to set aside your fears, because without risk, there is no reward, and have your company create a partnership with social media. Allow the same employees you trust to help you and your business offline, help online, and incorporate social media into your corporation. Since you must remember that the same Generation Y employees will be the same people you will be targeting as your demographic to buy. What was our polling results? Do we have that up, or did we get that up at all?
Results are still coming in, but at the moment, it looks like Should Allow It is winning 75 to 25%.
There was only one. There was a vote for Should Ban It, and that vote was me. And I'll tell you why.
Ooh.
I do believe for certain that social media should be used within businesses as what's the best way to put it? As a business tool, as
Yeah,
well as a
I agree.
yeah, as well as for other things. But when I say that they should ban it, I do believe that inappropriate use of Facebook, when unchecked, should be is a negative and a detriment, and that Facebook itself can be a time waster. If there's a company out there, and I forgot the name, but there's a company out there that would basically they couldn't figure out how to get the people going on a certain thing. This is way before social networking, so they allowed an hour a day to basically allow them to vent, so to speak. They were able to be creative. They could do whatever they wanted. They could leave the office. They could hang out. They were paid for this hour, and I think that would be sufficient. But since there was no option for they should allow it, but still have certain restrictions on it. Yeah, I do have an employee who spends a lot of time on social media, and for some strange reason, she spends most of her time on Facebook, and she finds a way to make it business oriented when it's just not. So you know who you are. If you're listening to the show, stop it. I'm on to you. I'm watching you. I am in your internets.
But that's the thing, JD.
Your businesses are controlled by us.
The thing is that if there's a strategy implemented, and there's an agreement and an understanding within the business, then there shouldn't be that confusion.
You win.
The article talks.
You
what?
I said you.
Of course, I'm Canada.
Canada wins. I'm already convinced. I just had to throw out a contradictory view just to be a jerk. But what does Reg think? Reg, when was the last time you had a job? Like an actual go to the office job, not your cush.
That was 20 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. So if you had a job, if you had a company with employees, would you allow your employees to use social media, social networks?
My last quote unquote job where I was a manager with employees, it was an assistant general manager for Embassy Suites Hotel. And we had a huge staff, we had a huge budget, but social media is fine if you're able to keep it in check with your employees. I mean, you don't want Betty or Lisa or Dave chiming into Facebook talking about, like, Farmville or whatever. If they're using it to promote the business, that's great. And if they want to have like a little social time, that's awesome. But you have to limit it, like you said. So yeah, let's keep it in check. Let those employees get time. It's sort of like email. It's sort of like IM. It's sort of like making a phone call. Back in the day, people would use the phone to call their friends, and if you kept long distance phone calls in check, you're not going to get like long distance calls out to like Grandma Betty and everyone else. So just like that, it's we move forward 20 years, and so when you have a problem with long distance phone calls and using the company phone and the company DOM to call people, now we have social media. And so keeping that in check and saying, hey, don't abuse it. We'll let you get on there, but don't abuse your privilege. So I don't want to see you playing Farmville. If you need to check in with like your friends or whatever, but try and keep the business in mind, and we're trusting you. So just like in the restaurant business, you trust your employees not to take food out the back door. Same thing goes for social media.
Ooh, that's a great analogy, because you got because in the restaurant business, they usually let their employees have some food, but just they don't want them stealing food. I love it. That's a great analogy.
What I was going to say, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go. I'm done.
What I was going to say is, if you can't trust your employees to utilize social media the right way, you don't have a social media problem. I think you have a people problem, a personnel problem, because you should be able to trust these people.
Zing. That one right over my.
Totally agree with you. High five.
It's interesting though, because it's kind of a catch-22. At the same time, like if you're running a business, you want your employees to be savvy with social media, to be able to use it, use these networks and avenues on the behalf of the company. But at the same time, you don't want to waste, resources, company resources and time through. I mean, if you're paying, let's say you're paying a receptionist or secretary an hourly wage, and she really should be doing some tasks to keep your business in order, to keep you on task and everything. But she's playing Farmville on Facebook. She's chatting with friends, and she's not using these tools, these networks, in the way that you envision is the right way to use them in the context of the workplace or in the context of how you run your business. These are potentially, these are like leaks in the fuel tank. You're just oozing money, oozing time that could be used in a constructive manner on the behalf of building your business, on the behalf of building your brand. So it's something that I think, maybe you shouldn't just outright ban it, but you should encourage responsible use, like Jeff said, of using things like Facebook, chat, IM. It doesn't matter. It could be texting your best friend. It doesn't matter the context. I mean, every employer wants their employees to be efficiently using their time, not wasting company money, not wasting company resources, and maintaining a sense of efficiency. And I think that correct usage of these networks, in their right place is a great thing. You don't want to be the tyrant who's banning or cutting off their employees' ability to communicate with the outside world, because I'm personally against that. But if you can set it up in a way that encourages responsible use of these things, then why not?
Yeah, and I think that starts with developing an employee policy that encourages social media use,
Right.
but at the same time outlines the fact that if we're allowing you to use these channels during work hours, you need to be using them for the betterment of the company.
I mean, like steal bandwidth. And we've had this before with eBay, or check out your stuff on Craigslist, or send a friend an email, and the company's watching. But don't play Farmville. If you want to check in, we want you guys to be happy employees. But don't abuse your privilege. That's it. You can throw down the gauntlet and lock it down like there's no tomorrow. No Facebook, no Twitter, no weird phone calls, no text, nothing. And then you have unhappy employees. So you want to wrap it up and keep them happy, but then tell them it's like, look, come on. Did you really have to like fertilize the farm of your neighbor on company?
Let the tomatoes die.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
you have to do it. Yeah, go ahead.
something you can do though is have an internal system of a reward type of process of encouraging your employees to take part, but at the same time you can have an internal way of rewarding the one that's taking the most part in social media, and encourage the proper usage of boosting your business's morale and branding. So that's something that you can do. Or you could have a system set up where you have a work profile on Facebook and you have a personal profile on Facebook, and try to keep them separate. I don't know, there's ways you can do it, but I think that there's more rewards than risks when it comes to integrating your business within social media.
I agree, but sometimes people will take it to the extreme. I mean, if you allow them to use social media as much as they want, then they might basically get their own form of communication.
Replace the word social media with phone. Okay, that's it. That's my entire argument.
Replace it with what word, Reg?
Phone.
Okay. So telling me,
Yeah.
if somebody wanted to, just to make sure we're clear here, if somebody wanted to, they could probably sit in their home and pick up the phone and have everything handled for them. They could have deliveries done. They wouldn't have to ever talk to anybody live or anything. They could just do it on the phone. The question is, could they do that strictly through social media?
Yeah,
could somebody just handle it through social?
Yeah, well, hold on, Reg. That is actually the case for what Chris Harris is currently doing.
And Clark.
Silent Clark is his name on Twitter. He basically is for a whole month, for the entire month of May, he stopped communicating completely verbally in any method other than through social media, which includes using Facebook, chat, sending Facebook messages, Twitter, and those type of things there. He's basically doing this as a tribute to his mother, who passed away back in February, and he's doing it to raise money for a charity for leukemia and the lymphoma Society. I think I'm saying that right. And yeah, so he's. I don't know anyone that's really tried doing this completely before, and he's been chronicling the experience at his website, socialmediaexperiment.com. He every day posts a message here with sort of the ups and downs of the day, which I guess today he was in a car for 7 hours driving somewhere, and he's unable to basically talk to the person right next to him. It's just very strange. I was just driving myself last week for about 10 hours, so if I wasn't able to talk to the people in the car with me, that would be really strange. So
But you were talking to people that weren't even there.
yeah,
Wait, Ergo.
Yeah.
He can DM the person sitting next to him on Twitter.
Yes.
They can totally do that.
That, yeah, but it's much, just think of this here. If you, right now we're talking, like you say something and immediately I can respond to you right there. If I'm not able to immediately respond and I have to actually type out a message to you, just think how hard that would be. Yeah.
Question is it, do the rules allow for there to be one of those Stephen Hawking style machines?
I do not think that
The
fits his
answer
rules.
is no.
I was going to say, 'cause that would totally be an awesome thing.
Yeah, no, I think he's doing it just completely, doing it manually on all these methods here. Yeah, and plus, hooking up a Stephen Hawking machine, that'd be kind of tough to pull off that quickly like that.
True, it'd be a lot of typing.
Yeah.
I agree. Speaking of Stephen Hawking, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Stephen Hawking is a huge Justin Bieber fan. And so for those who don't know who Justin Bieber is, join the crowd because I'm one of them. But I do know this.
Bieber.
Yeah,
Bieber.
hey,
Oh, be honest.
he's a teen star thing, and I'm 23 years old, so that's like a little bit before my.
He's back up to 23.
I'm sorry. Wait, what was I last week?
Happy
21.
birthday.
21.
Happy birthday.
I had 2 birthdays since last week. I'm now 23 again, and for the first time ever. Anyway. So Justin Bieber. And Reg, I just want you to know that if you look at the socialblade.com/show, you will see that we have 2 pictures there. We have Justin Bieber and we have you. And it's funny because both of you are associated with Twitter. They're right next to you. It's really cute.
It is cute.
And and if anybody goes socialblade.com/show and looks at it, and you see the 2 pictures there, the one on the left is Justin Bieber, the one on the right is Reg Saddler. Just FYI. So
hot.
there's been the Justin Bieber effect. I just want to make sure. You never know. All right, I know that everybody knows you, but I didn't know who the heck Justin Bieber was.
Oh, I don't know who Justin Bieber. I've got a friend who has no idea who Justin Bieber is. He's a business partner of mine, but
I thought you were saying I was your friend.
Well, no, but it's the whole demographic. My demographic that doesn't know who Justin is. So.
Okay, cool. Well, I guess I'm in your demographic because before they found this story and gave it to me, thank you guys for giving it to me. I appreciate it.
That's what you get for skipping the meeting.
I will just say.
I had to research who this guy was, and I am jealous because he's anyway. I don't want to say why I'm jealous, but so the point being is this: so he gets on there, right, and his fans, his avid fans, all 20 trillion of them are on Twitter, and they have made him a trending topic since since the kid was born, pretty much, like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And so he's been trending, and they decided to basically install, make a tweak to the algorithm where they're saying, look, no offense, Justin, we love you, but you've been hogging up trending topics every day, 24/7 for weeks now. And so we're going to basically filter you from trending topics. It's nothing against you, but trending topics is really supposed to be about what's hot right now, not who's the most popular teen idol of the day. And so his fans fired back and started utilizing different variations of his name. And so not only were they able to get him on there once, but they got him on there twice. They got him on there as like Justin Tweeber or Justin Freeber or Justin Dweeber or something like that. And they had him on there twice. But as of Tuesday, they have eliminated it. So Justin is not a trending topic, regardless of what his last name is, which is going to be funny because if you ever think about it, what if like like something bad happens, like or something good happens, like President Obama was saved by Justin Freber of Illinois, and then he can't trend. The guy's 15 minutes of fame. He saves the president, and because of the Justin Bieber effect, it's over. That would be so disappointing. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, they must be on top of it. Because earlier today it had Bieber as a trending topic, and now it's gone. So Twitter must be on top of this, keeping it filtered out.
It's sort of like the dick algorithm police that they never had.
And they don't exist.
Right. So now we're seeing shades of that on Twitter. So I'm afraid to use my influence now on Twitter, because I might get banned.
I think we should use this opportunity while we have Reg on here to get the term social blade, the hashtag social blade, trending. Let's shoot for that. Let's organize it. It'll take us probably about 2 weeks. We're gonna shoot to try to get social blade trending on Twitter, and really truly find out if Ergo's server is as good as he says it is.
see if we can bust a Bieber. I just think it's hilarious.
Bust a Bieber on social blade. That sounds so kinky. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I personally asked Alyssa Milano to put the show tonight, and I got like crickets.
Oh, Alyssa, if you're there, love you, girl. Okay, go ahead, Vic.
Yeah, darling, if you're watching, I'm sorry, okay, but you didn't retweet it, okay? Love you, though.
Aw.
I tweeted.
Well, she's too busy doing Romantically Challenged now.
Not anymore. Yeah, Felicity, I'm sorry, honey, but I mean, we gave it a great shot. We pushed the hell out of the show, and it's canceled. So.
Oh.
We tried.
You should have told me. I'm just kidding.
So, no,
Bieber.
you might be in the audience, but I adore you. No, but you didn't retweet the show. Okay. See, so shameless self-promotion. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that.
Adorable is the word. Victor, go ahead. Tell us how adorable.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think it's hilarious that these teenage Bieber fans just somehow outgunned the developers at Twitter initially in terms of the whole trending topic debacle. I mean, it's hilarious. I mean, Twitter is supposed to be this huge service. I mean, their development team should be able to do pretty much anything they need to do on the fly. And the fact that they couldn't stop hordes of little teenage girls from making him a trending topic is awesome.
Well, the reason they weren't able to do it because these it's not just a matter. Twitter is semi-aged personality. I'm sorry, technology. The technology itself, they've been they've had their fail whale problems. They've had all these issues and concerns. So they don't necessarily have the state of the art equipment that these teen girls have.
Oh, right. Xboxes, or no. I'm sorry. They have their pink Verizon Android whatever phones.
Right, exactly. And the reason they have these is because they stop. The reason they have them is because they go to hothardware.com and they check out the latest trends, the latest reviews, the most recent and up-to-date Twitter beaters out there. Okay, so whether you're a teenage girl who likes Justin Bieber or a 23-year-old boy such as myself who's just out for the latest technology, you just need to go to hothardware.com, because at hothardware.com you will find out everything that you need to know, whether it's about software, hardware, middleware, whatever kind of wear, whatever you wear, you need to find it at hothardware.com. And they also have great bacon. So just wanted to throw that in.
Awesome.
Indeed.
My segue abilities. I need to get me a better segue ability.
No worries, JD. I mean, speaking of bacon, I mean, bacon's pretty awesome, and no, but bacon, it's really kind of it's a meme. It's the only food that's also a meme, if you will. I mean, that's kind of a primitive way of putting it.
If you really want to make it a full-on meme, if you made Bieber bacon, think about it. Bieber.
Well, yeah. I mean, speaking of baking, Canada's kind of the #1 country, but I can honestly tell you that there's no country more hungry for bacon than the U.S. If you really think about it. Like, I know people don't think of
bacon.
Dude, bacon is like God's gift to man. It is. It is what makes life worth living sometimes. But
Well,
no, seriously.
I mean, I'm a complete snob, so I like prosciutto.
Oh, nice.
Uh,
No, that stuff's good. I dig it. I understand aged ham. That stuff's pretty awesome. But I'm kind of getting off topic now. But back to what I was talking about. I just wanted to talk about the U.S. as a country in the kind of global context. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because social media is being used currently on behalf of the State Department to basically integrate itself into the U.S.'s whole diplomatic outlook. And there's a very recent kind of jump towards social media on the behalf of the government in this very manner. For instance, there's the there's the White House, Flickr account, which in the past year has gotten really popular. There was some iconic imagery of Obama playing with a lightsaber that some may remember, but that's just one little aspect of how the government as a whole is using these social media driven networks to establish linkages and communication pathways with its citizenry, with people out in the world, not just in the U.S. So it's been really interesting to kind of watch this happen in front of our eyes. And specifically, I'd like to quote Greg Ferenstein, a expert blogger at Fast Company and also a blogger at Mashable, that basically talks. He basically wrote this really good article talking about how social media can bridge what's called the last 3 feet. The last 3 feet being the kind of final gap between government and other nations in the world, other nations and their citizenry. We think about diplomacy and the old school, war-making politics of previous presidents, and different policies, like people from Clinton, who really advocated, sending a more peaceful message to other countries, especially in developing nations, in Africa, South America, and in Asia. And social media as of late has specifically been used by the State Department to basically create this link, to establish a real personalized presence. I mean, the era of broadcast communication on the behalf of the government is fundamentally over. That people now have means of being able to post responses and stuff, and so it's all really exciting to be part of that. In essence.
Well, Reg is from the U.S. Reg, do you have an opinion on this?
Well, I mean, they're doing a great job to reach out, but they're boring sites. They don't engage. So they're in their infancy on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah.
They're broadcasting right now. What they'll finally realize that they have to do is actually engage the people that follow them. And so, and by engagement, I mean feedback. They have to talk to the masses. Now, I mean, I have over 100,000 followers on Twitter. I can broadcast all day long. A guy called Kawasaki does that. But if you want reach and if you want breadth, then you have to engage those people. The Louisiana Homeland Security Department reached out to me and said, "Hey, Reg, can you help with what we're doing with the oil spill?" I'm like, yeah, totally, I'm on that, because they saw what I was doing, but they're actually engaging. Hey, we're doing this, we're doing that. So it takes, and we're elitist, or not even elitist, but they'll see it that way. If they're internal, like PR people, they're internal social media people, that see it as a broadcast medium. But but basically, the best way to do it is broadcast and engage.
No, I totally agree with you, Reg, 100%. But I think the point that I'm trying to make is that, in general, the fact that the government is now kind of basically, you're right, they're definitely in their infancy, but they're forging this kind of new frontier. The era of a real development of two-way communication. I mean, because in previous generations, I mean, just in terms of how governments work, it's usually just a very one-way thing. It's a very, we broadcast our message, we broadcast what we think needs to happen, we make policy, and sure, people can vote and get their voice heard, but outside of that, and outside of activism, like kind of proper, there's no real manner of which people's voices to really be heard. And social media can help bridge that gap. It can help establish those, two-way communications between government agencies and, its citizenry, and specifically in the diplomatic context. I mean, social media, in terms of the potential to create connection, to foster relationship between one country and another, and specifically another country's citizenry, it can totally be huge. I mean, this can be a total game changer if used in the correct manner, but you're right. There's a lot that the government's not doing in terms of not being proactive enough, not being receptive enough to that communication. So there's still a long way to go, obviously.
Well, as you said, it's in its infancy stages. And, we did a story on our blog the other day, and healthcare seems to be heading that way as well. And again, it's just baby steps, because at first they're against it, and now they know that that's what people want. So I think we're going to be seeing a huge change within government, healthcare, those types of situations where social media is going to be taking part, and it is going to become a two-way street, like you said, Victor.
Well,
Definitely.
I just helped out. I just helped out our cause. If you want to,
nice.
if you want to check out, I'm working on diplomacy on our behalf with one of our neighbors. You feel free to check out at 0BOY is my Twitter handle. Retweet me if you agree. Government, diplomacy, all of this good stuff is important. The real question is, could Victor pull off the Justin Bieber look? Ergo?
Face palm.
The current we've been running a poll in the room here, and let's see if I can pull up Victor on the screen here. Yeah, we're running a poll in the room here. Can just Victor pull off the Bieber look? And currently the results are 50% say yes, and the other 50% don't say no. They say Bieber is not allowed on Social Blade ever again. He's been banned.
I think he could pull it off, but I'm totally with that. After this show, I think there's no more Bieber talk. It's got to be up there with the Twilight. Got to be up there with the Twilight.
Bieber.
Yeah, I would really just be much happier if we just didn't mention Bieber on the show again. That would just be really great.
Well, hold on. What you guys don't know though is we're a little late broadcasting today. We had the video on but no audio. The entire time when we were not doing audio, it was because Aaron was actually singing Bieber.
How could you?
that sign behind her covering a Justin Bieber
Poster. Yeah.
But in all seriousness, though, and this is something where I'd love to hear the back and forth between a few of the people here. Unfortunately, I have to go grab something, but I would like to say that social media.
Oh, Reg is echoing.
Echoing, buddy. Reg is no longer echoing. The echo is gone. The segue is ruined. So I'm just going to turn it over to my good friend, my good pal, my cohort, our newest host, Jeff Kreider, to tell us a little bit more about social media and business if you're broke.
Yeah. Well, Mashable released an article on Wednesday entitled How to Market Your Small Business with No Budget. And I thought this was a really neat article with some really sound points in it that I wanted to share with everybody. One of the main points that Matt Silverman writes is to become an expert. Make sure you're keeping up to date on what's happening in your industry by becoming a student of your trade. By becoming a student of your trade, you'll not only be able to share your knowledge with others in the industry, but if you blog, tweet, share, and update about things relevant to your industry, this is a way to build credibility in your field. Remember, every piece of content you post online has the potential to boost your brand and drive search results and traffic at a very little cost. And by doing this, you not only are reaching out to customers, but you can also reach out to those who are what we call super customers or super users, brand advocates. This is really important because once you can reach out to a brand advocate, they are someone who will talk a lot about your business, share with their friends. It's that 6 degrees of separation that's important. Make sure you're seeking out the movers and shakers within your industry. When an endorsement comes from someone outside of your company, like a trusted blogger or social sharer, it has greater value and reach than anything you could send through official channels. And one of the last points he makes is to ensure that people can find you on the web. Make sure when people are looking for you online, the information they find is accurate. Make sure that when you're listing yourself online through various online directories such as Yelp and Angie's List, that the site has you listed, all the information is correct, and if you're already listed on it, make sure you're claiming yourself. Add more information to the site. If there's no numbers, add numbers, and so on. Some of the points that I wanted to add to this was, though it is cost effective, and he mentions that it is cost effective, it can be very time intensive. So you really need to make sure you're managing your time and picking and choosing where you want to send your messages. Because if you're just wandering blindly through the social media universe, you're going to find yourself not receiving the ROI you're looking for. One of the most important things that I want to share is to develop a long-term sound strategy that is sustainable. This is one of the number one things you should do after you observe and research where your customers are looking and spending their time. And lastly, I want to say that, social media marketing, especially the local level, takes a lot of time. So don't get frustrated if you're not seeing the results in the short term. Keep thinking long term, have that visionary thought, have that thought leadership that would drive the continuation of your social media strategy for years. Because once you ingrain and entrench yourself in the local community, you will start to see it pay off.
Totally
Awesome.
agree.
Yeah, it was an interesting article because, I know that for some folks, when some people think about, let's say you're a business and you're not very social media savvy at all, and you're assessing that branch of your marketing strategy, typically what comes to mind are, high-priced consultants and, hiring people full-time to work these, networks, to work these avenues for you on your company's behalf. And, people think of these strategies and they do take a lot of time and a lot of effort. But if you're willing to, basically, on some levels, just do it yourself and get into it and learn about it and become like you said, a quote unquote student of the trade, the payoffs could be really huge, and so I think that's what I love about social media is that, I think about the potential and the role it can play in different projects and different marketing strategies. And ultimately, if I want to do it myself, if I want to, take the reins, get involved, put in the time and effort, that the monetary cost, input-wise, you can help minimize that. You don't need huge corporate marketing budgets to have an effect, to have an impact. But it does take a lot of time and effort, and these tips most certainly are good ones in terms of people in situations, business situations, whether they be small businesses, fledgling businesses, and they don't have the kind of budgets that they would really like to invest in this branch of things to at least function and have a reach in that world, in that sphere without breaking the bank. So I think there's a lot of things to like about that in general.
Yeah, and one of the thing I want to add is, we have the ability, or a local business has the ability now with no budget to reach a global audience. And you really, while developing your strategy, need to, think globally, and act locally. Reach that global audience, and if you gain that global legitimacy, that national legitimacy through some sort of, campaign you're running, that will help at the local level. It will trickle down.
Wait. Let me jump in there. And I'll be very honest. Guys, I did taste casting. You can check out a link for CBS Sports Denver. Type in zaibatsu, space video, taste casting, restaurants, stuff like that. But I mean, the whole thing is going local is hard. And I mean, it's a big deal. And so, to go local, you have to basically drill down and push like crazy, and add local. Like, so I have over 100,000 followers, but I probably have maybe 5,000 people locally that follow me. So you have to focus local hard. And what does that mean? You can go to search.twitter.com and then add people that are in your area. And so you have to be able to do that.
Yes.
We have a question from the audience from Lady Umbrella. For you, Reg, what would you say is the critical point at which things take off and grow organically for Twitter accounts or fan pages? At what point do things end up taking off?
That's okay. The critical point is, and for any campaign that you do, I mean, it's like if you're pushing like a local restaurant, if you're pushing like a car dealership, if you're pushing someone like Newsweek, it's all content. It's all content.
Live safe for our kids. The sins of a father will be paid for by his sons. I killed Claudia. This may on General
JD?
Hospital, a cop's quest
JD.
to bring his father to justice.
I sentence you to 5 years in penitentiary.
Puts his brother first.
This is interesting. What is this?
I think that's
okay.
Is a trained killer.
JD, turn it off. You're playing a movie.
No, this is not me.
How did I get General Hospital?
Yeah,
I don't know.
no, don't blame it on me, guys. This is your show.
What in the
My mom will be happy though. I can tell you that much.
Did hospital just hack my computer? What happened?
Yes.
Or like Nick Cage says, hey, it's your barbecue. I'm just enjoying the tasty food. On air. But yeah, the whole thing is, it's not from when it goes from like being like non-organic to organic. You have to lay the foundation first. So you have to build up the audience on Facebook or Twitter, and then take it from there.
Oh, absolutely. Jeff, do you have a reply to that as well?
No, I mean, I was going to say, maybe I should have said another way around is, think globally, but act locally. I think it's important to make sure you're touching the right people. The quantity doesn't matter; it's the quality. Who are you touching? And if you get a national, personality or person who has some clout within your industry at the national or global level, talking about your company or talking about your local business, that goes a long way at developing your social media strategy or your entrenchment at the community level.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, and I do apologize. It happens for we can see screencast. It happens that every now and then you just have to have a General Hospital moment, even when you're talking serious stuff. And social media is serious business. Jeff, when you're looking at looking at the local level, Reg mentioned using search. Is there anything else? Are there any other tools? And I say Jeff, it can be anyone, Aaron, anybody. Are there any other tools you can use to find local people on Twitter, find local people on Facebook to apply to your business?
Yeah, I mean, Twilio is one of them. I mean, the way you can use Twitter at the local level is really use it as a networking technique or a networking platform to reach out to the people who are using Twitter a lot and have somewhat of a following. Build a relationship with those people. Reach out to those people. Say, hey, we want you to try out our product. We'll offer it to you at a discount or some sort of thing. And hey, if you're a car dealership, hey, take this car for a week, blog about it, tweet about it. What do you think about it? And it gets someone who has a following talking about something that will make impressions on people.
Yeah, absolutely. You can also add, you could add it to your Facebook through applications. You can also go to search.twitter.com to find people through keywords. And you can look right on Twitter. So, the other thing I have a question for is with social media and blogging, what is the best way to blog? And JD, I'm going to ask you this question.
Yes.
You're fixing your hair.
No, I was doing trying to look more
just Bieber. When it comes to blogging, I've gotten questions, and I've often wondered myself, when you're blogging in one specific area, if you're writing an article, do you keep it in just one blog spot, or should you shower it amongst other blogs as well, or should you just stay with one article to one blog per time? Is that good? Is that good for SEO or purposes, or what do you think
If we had if we had 4 shows, we could go into strategies about how this was effective, and trying to decide whether or not to do. There's the one power blog technique, which lots of people use. There's the spread it out and put it on bunches of different blogs. There's other people that will take their individual blog and write with it, but then write on other free services such as Blogspot and WordPress, or even going to Fast Company, for example, was mentioned earlier. The quote unquote social network, social content sites like Newsvine or Now Public, and writing there and sending links to your blog itself. That's an extremely complex question to answer.
What would you recommend for business, though?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It all depends upon 2 things. How much time can you spend on it? If you have a good amount of time, if somebody wants to get really serious and say they want to hire a full-on, one person to handle all their social media and content and blogging and all that good stuff, and that person can do this 8 hours a day, then you can expand out. If it's going to be something where, we need it, we've got to get it out there, but I can spend an hour a week, then you're probably just stuck with one blog. All depends upon what your goals are, as well as what your business is. Sometimes an individual topic can pretty much get blown up just with one individual blog, and that's all you got. Let's face it. If you are selling sliced bread in St. Louis, then chances are you're not going to be able to come up with 5 blog posts a day about bread. Bread is not bacon. I just want everyone to know that bread is not bacon.
Bread is bacon at KFC.
Well,
Yes.
Zing.
And JD is not Bieber, but he's looking like it. Reg, I got a question from the audience for you from Soji Shirts. Do you think networking with everyone via Twitter, Facebook, etc. is a good strategy, or just the big users, power players?
No. It's a great strategy. Because I network via Twitter. I network via Facebook. If I'm pushing something, pushing content, pushing whatever, I do it on, not only on just like one platform. I do it everywhere. So if I'm pushing something hard, and we talked about going local. I'm partnering, and I know I'll do a little plug. Down at Colorado, I'll push it on my Twitter account. I'll push it on my Facebook account. But then we push it through normal media, through the Denver Post here locally, and then through the Examiner. So we'll do it through print media, and then we'll do on the ground campaign. So social media is just one component of any good social media or any good PR campaign. And it took me a while to figure that out. But yeah, push it hard everywhere. Own it, dominate it. The more followers you have, the more people that you have, go there, do it, make it happen.
It was epic. For those who are asking about my bacon-filled waffle, yes.
Oh, bacon-filled waffle.
Oh my gosh, it was so amazing. So I'm down in San Diego. Okay, that's a whole other show. I could do an entire show.
That's a whole other show. We'll have a bacon edition of Social Blade soon. Not to worry.
We had that. We had that. I don't remember the episode number, but when Amy Vernon was on.
Yes, and I didn't get to bring in my bacon story at that point. That was very disappointing. Yeah, I want to get Reg, and if possible, I want to get Reg and Jeff talking, because they seem to have very similar but very opposing, not opposing, but at least just different perspectives on the global versus local aspects of how to utilize social media for business. Reg, are you up for it?
Yeah, totally. I can play both sides, because I own global, and then recently I'm not owning local, but I'm working on it, and it's hard. Local is hard. Global is easy.
Yeah, I can tell you that Jeff is starting to own his local. So I think this can be a very interesting topic. If you guys don't mind, Ergo, how are we doing on time?
We're good.
Okay. I'm gonna lob some questions. You guys take 30 seconds and go back and forth. You guys mind, Jeff? You haven't told me if that's okay with you or not.
Let's go for it.
You're a pro, man. You've been on the show for 2 weeks. You should be
2 weeks.
Yeah.
What? Jeff has no choice. No, I'm kidding.
No, exactly. Okay, so when we're talking about, let's go ahead and start off with, we'll start off in Zaibatsu's court with Twitter. Okay, we mentioned local versus global. If you are a local business, should you be tweeting about local things, global things, or both? Reg? All right. Then point one for
His video is frozen. He might be having connection
see
issues
that.
here.
That's awesome. Jeff, you made he had a technical difficulty as he was preparing to talk to you about this. That's amazing. Round one, Jeff Kreider. Okay, so while we come back, and I'll repeat that question later. So let's talk a little bit of Facebook, which is where Jeff is a more of a specialist at, I believe. From Facebook's perspective, you are a business. You're a mid-sized business trying to expand. Should you, let's say you're trying to expand out to another area, okay? Should you go ahead and start promoting your current Facebook fan page in this new area? Let's say you're opening a store 2 states across, or it's not that big, the store itself. I'm just saying 2 states away is where your store is going to open. And you're going to be opening the store. Should you create a separate Facebook fan page, or whatever we call them now, just Facebook page, or perfect timing? Yes. Hold on real quick, guys. Reg, I'm adding you back. If you can hear me, I'm adding you back now. We didn't hang up on you. Did you hear me, buddy? Or is your Skype down? Okay, you're going on my speaker. Hold on. Okay.
So, do the question.
Yeah, we are. Okay, so Jeff's going to answer the question first. Reg is joining us via Android phone. This show brought to you by Android, the better alternative to iPhone. Jeff, should you, if you have a local business, should you open up a new Facebook page if you're going to be expanding outside, or should you try to promote your current Facebook page outside of your own current area?
No, I think you should promote the one you currently have. Because this gives the opportunity for people who are just joining your page from the separate area to see the history of you engaging with your followers, engaging with your users. It allows you to see what value they can find in it. They can have the ability to go back and see, okay, well, this company is very consistent in the way they interact, the way they engage. And through that engagement, through the user engagement, it adds that initial value to somebody looking to join.
Perfect. Now, Reg did not get to hear it. Reg's going to mute his right now. So I'm going to let him to reply to the second question, which is about Twitter. Put you on speaker. Oh, go to mute, Reg. See the beauty of technology? We're trying to mix Skype, Ustream, Android, and everything else. And it makes it so much fun when you try to combine everything into one seamless thing. All right, did you mute? Beautiful. Here we go. Reg, if you can hear me, here's your question. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, your question is this. Twitter, global versus local. We've already discussed that one. But if you are, let's say you are wanting to take your business and use it utilize Twitter to really grow, what is the first thing you should do as a Twitter page for business?
If you want to grow local, you go to search.twitter.com.
Mm-hmm.
You go to advanced settings, and then you start adding everyone within 15 miles or 20 miles of you. Add those people, engage those people, and do it that way. I'm here in Colorado. I have a list of maybe 2,000, 3,000 Colorado people, and then I have the biggest list of Colorado users in my region. So if I'm going local, and I've learned this the hard way, just because I have 100,000 followers, it doesn't mean that 15 people will show up in my favorite restaurants I'm trying to push. So I've learned the hard way that I have to push it on Facebook, and I have to push it on Twitter, and I have to push it hard, but I have to push local. Who hard to go local. So, I've crafted this over maybe like a year or so, and I do. I have the largest coverage in my region. There's no one else. No one else on Twitter. Ain't anyone else out there, okay? Now, I don't know who's doing San Fran, I don't know who's doing in San Diego, where you guys are at, but I mean, I own Denver.
Well,
I own local.
I can tell you this, Reg. As far as North Carolina is concerned, Ergo is the largest of the 45 people in North Carolina that use Twitter. Ergo is the largest one, and he only accounts for 22 of those particular accounts. Okay.
I don't know. Actually, Susan might be challenging me there.
I just saw Owen chat. Not only do you have to push your stuff, because people, I see this all the time. You log into your Twitter account or you log into your Facebook account, and you're pushing like, hey, please follow me, blah, 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 or please do this, or please follow this event of mine. But you have to reach out and cross-pollinate. So you have to help out people around you in your region. So if it's like a nightclub, a restaurant, wherever, and they're having a special or they're doing something, any business, help them out. Reach out to your followers with your event and help them out. I mean, it's called backlinking, stuff like that. You're not getting anything out of it, but you're helping them out. So you have to do that. So that's how you do it. First, bulk up, okay, via search. And then second, cross-pollinate. And then third, push your stuff. So, I'm a master of doing local now. I mean, it's like we're partnering with the Douglas County Sheriff's Department. Oh, my God, it's being tickets for me. But we're doing 50 local restaurants. And they're paying us $4.50 a pop to be featured, and it's a charity event. So, I mean, it's like, I've never been able to go local before, and now,
I just want to be clear, Reg. I want to make sure that I heard this correctly. You are working with the Sheriff's Department. Is that correct?
Yes, I am working with the Sheriff's Department with Brad Kellmeyer in Dinah, Colorado. We're partnering with them to actually bring, let's see, we're doing donations for God, I'm trying to, see, I have so much on my plate right now. But we're doing a food bank promotion with 50 local restaurants.
Wow. Well, whatever it was, it just amazes me that you are working with the Sheriff's Department and it's not ordered. I love it.
Well, real quick.
Hold on.
It's not ordered.
I thought the word didn't get out though as a bad boy, but yes, I have it.
Beautiful. Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
No, I mean, everything you said was dead on. I mean, you really have to engage the people in the local community, and you really have to make your business or your company a place where people are not only connecting to you, but connecting to other people through you. Ask the question, hey, is there any charity out there or anybody representing a charity? We're looking to donate X amount of dollars. Do you have any charity you would like us to donate it to or something? Something along those lines. An example recently that happened to me in my area, we had a woman whose dog was missing and she was tweeting it. And we, our business was, tweeting, hey, have you helped find, so-and-so's dog? Help, have you seen this person's dog? And it's those impressions that say, this company is humanized. It's about humanizing your company. And it's those impressions that when that person is in the market for your specific product, they'll think about the impression that was left in their head by you.
Wow, that's awesome. I appreciate again, every time we talk business, we could go on talking forever because social media and business to combined are just absolutely epic. Thank you all for doing that. Reg has fallen off the line. Reg, if you can still hear us, I want to extremely possibly and very emphatically thank you. You were an amazing guest today. Wow, that was fun. We need to do, and we keep saying this every week now, but we need to do more about social media and business because that just seems to be such a hot topic. Make sure, everybody, thank you so much for coming. Make sure that you check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Just look for Social Blade. That is Social Blade on Twitter.com, Facebook.com, and YouTube.com. Sign up for SMS alerts so that you can know when all of your favorite shows out there are happening. Just go to j.mp/subus. That's SUBUS. j.mp/subus. And you can sign up for shows such as ours, such as Band on the Web, 7 o'clock Pacific time on Tuesday nights, such as The Drill Down at 3 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday afternoons for now, such as Ask Outcast, and such as Lost. If you don't want, if you want to watch Lost, that's also, we'll send out an SMS alert just in case.
Invading the internet.
In case you are blind and don't know that Lost is ending, and I'm about to cry because of that. /social.
You haven't watched an
It is
episode.
pretty sad.
Anyway, yeah. So again, you know about us. We are Social Blade at 7 p.m. Pacific on Thursday nights. The Drill Down at 3 p.m. Pacific on Sundays. Band on the Web Tuesdays at 7 p.m. And yeah, check them out. And also Ask Outcast, and I will get the time right. It is 5 p.m. Pacific on Tuesdays. That is Ask Outcast. Thank you again, Reg Saddler, Zaibatsu, former Prince of Dig, is the king of Twitter, and it's we could go into a whole other show about him. Thank you, audience. You guys were great today. Lots of questions. I love that. Special thanks to Dave from Hot Hardware. Dave, you are the man, and Hot Hardware is the site if you need the latest reviews, the latest news, everything that has to do with technology, hardware, and making sure that it's hot. And just remember, when you're sitting there late at night and you're thinking, man, I just don't know what to do. I'm concerned about what's happening in the world. Always remember that we are Social Blade.